So, first of all, thanks a lot for having me. I got to know this morning when I registered that the people actually told me you're not supposed to be here. And I felt a bit quantum sort of in between sort of being there and being not there at the same time, but I hope that you also enjoy that I'm here and I'm willing to talk to you about a bit sort of what we essentially see on Quantum 2.0 and what would be our views on the quantum market and what we also see concerning the technology at this stage. So, can we go to the next slide? Or do I get a clicker? There we go. Perfect. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is, I remember the days when I was a PhD student and sort of when we were talking about quantum computing. And we were fighting for $2 million grants, $1 million grants in order to get first research projects funded. To date, we see that there are $300 million projects from the state of Bavaria. There are billion-dollar projects from the European Union. We've recently seen the massive programs that also the Chinese government has set up around enabling quantum computing. This shows us that this has moved from this is child's play of some of the theoretical physicists to an actual reality. And the actual thing that we also see, in addition to all of the public investment that is coming in, is the investment that we also now see from the VC funds and from the PE funds. So actual money of the economy that is pouring into the quantum technology in the first place. And this is showing us that there is by now real interest in also investing into quantum technology, going beyond the pure scientific, maybe hobby interest in establishing a quantum computer and in establishing quantum technology. So therefore, it was also the time for us to essentially develop a perspective and to also start to advise our clients in terms of what is Quantum 2.0 and how can this become a reality. And the first thing that I want to talk about is what is our view on the quantum market. Because by no means is quantum technology the one market that somehow sort of is encompassed by the quantum computer that takes it all. But there are quantum sensors, there is all of the area around quantum key distribution and quantum cryptography, and of course there is quantum computing out there as well. And the first thing that we realized when we did an estimation in terms of what is the potential that this technology can have, also on the economy worldwide, is number one, the impact can be massive. Number two, there are big uncertainties. And number three, and we'll talk about this a bit, sort of the time scales is something that one needs to take into account, and there are quite large variances that one essentially has in there. But the first thing that we realized when we looked at what are the typical use cases where one can use a quantum computer in each of the different industries, what we realized was there is a big market that is coming out there for quantum communication, but only if we're able to tackle with quantum computers the key use cases that would be out there in the simulation space and the optimization space. And the question is, when would we really see also a supremacy of the quantum technology for those use cases where we already know to date that high-performance computers, the traditional computers, are already very good with existing heuristics. The second thing that we have seen is, if we look at quantum sensing, the market is a lot more predictable, because here it's not the one thing that you need to build, the one quantum computer that you need to build, but there is a manifold of use cases that are out there, a manifold of different sensors. And we're very sure that there is a market, but the question again is, when will these technologies be able to overcome and be more precise and more cost efficient than all of the classical technologies that we would currently have available also in the sensing space? And then of course, finally, what we see also out there on quantum communications. This is a market where we see already to date first viable companies that have revenues, that have a proper P&L, that are not just research agencies in the first place. So we really see here that there is a market that is coming. The next thing that we see is there are possibilities of essentially getting invested into this market. The first thing is And often this is overlooked. We've all heard about helium crisis and whatsoever. There is a market that is out there in terms of simply investing into the equipment, into the components that are used in order to build these quantum computers to date, and dilution refrigerators, and to all of the technology. This is a very well-established market. Of course, where all the PE, where all the VC money is pouring in, and we'll go a bit deeper into that one, is into all of the space around hardware. This is where we see most of the money that you see are also pouring in. But the question here is, what is also the target technology that would essentially be able to win this market in the first place? And what is the future outlook on this market in itself? And then, of course, we don't want to just have quantum computers that are pure hardware. We want to have quantum computers that actually enable to solve certain problems, as also the speakers before me have illustrated. So the question is, do we get to software? Do we get to applications? Do we get to services? And this is a market where we now see the first startups are also coming up, but it's not a market that is super well developed. For example, if you also look at how development is currently done on quantum computers, the truth is, this is very semi-professional in comparison to what we have on classical computers at this stage. And a lot of development and a lot of R&D will need to go into getting this to the required into the required maturity so that this will be market ready. And therefore, we had also analyzed what is actually the current state of play, what is the target technology that we would also see for the quantum computer. And the first thing that we realized is this is a very multi-dimensional problem because there are numerous things that one needs to consider, whether it's 2-qubit fidelity, whether it is the coherence of the qubits, whether I can actually manufacture those respective devices also at scale. And there is no technology where we would already say today, this is the target technology for the future quantum computer, because we would need to realize 1 million qubits. No technology on Earth can currently do this. The second thing that we also realized when we went through these different technologies is there are numerous different challenges that are currently not overcome. Be it for the manufacturing of these Majorana fermions, whether they exist or not, be it for the superconducting qubits, how you essentially do the control electronics, how you control stray fields for neutral atoms. It's by no means that we already know to date what is the target technology, and it's by no means clear that there is only one target technology, but different components could also, or different problems could also be solved by different target technologies that we would see out there. But what we definitely see for sure is there are fundamental problems that still need to be overcome, and we don't know what is the efficient timescale that would stand also behind these respective solutions. So there is a risky market that is out there. There is significant money pouring into that. And there is one thought that I want to leave you with today, which is when we talk to a lot of the quantum companies to date, they all talk about quantum supremacy and when will our quantum computer be more efficient, be more reliable, be more whatever than the current classical system that we would have at hand. But be mindful, sort of this world out there in terms of the economy is not just ticking in terms of how do you get to positive P&L. This world is also ticking in terms of what is the valuation of a company. This world is also ticking about what is actually the shareholder value that is generated for a specific company. And therefore, what we see with a lot of the quantum investments at this stage is they are not targeted towards already generating today a positive P&L, but they are targeted towards, can I increase the valuation of a company? Can I convince my shareholders that I'm a player in innovative technologies in the first place? And this is why we see a lot of the corporates also investing into quantum technology, not just because this is a positive investment to date, but because this also convinces shareholders and other key stakeholders of our readiness for the future. And with this one, would like to leave you, and I hope for a very nice Puzzle X conference. Thanks a lot for your kind attention.